Hi everyone and welcome back to another board no game video. Today's video is dedicated to a should you pull for the new banners upcoming and not to mention the events. Let's go ahead and cover this. Go into the notice right here if you want to see some more notes on it. And you can see there's going to be a maintenance occurring at 0600 to 0800 GMT +7, all that stuff. Alright. Now when it comes to this, there's going to be the new Crossroad event, and then Jushiyoung and Karin Wong are going to be rate up, and they're also going to have their vacation skins coming with them as well, which I'm not sure what that exactly means, but hopefully that means they are going to be getting their summer skin. So these are going to be the two characters, Karin Wong, Jushiyoung. We'll look at their skills more briefly, and then here's going to be the Crossroad events that we will also cover. Just note that this is going to be a fantastic shop to get a lot of free goodies. So here are going to be the characters. We're going to cover Karin Wong first. I believe she is related to Ka Wong. Not as good as Ka Wong, but definitely a waifu. Now when it comes to her, she's going to have a basic attack, a little like deployment plasma gun that she can use, and she'll deal AoE depending on how close she is to the enemies, and then she can also summon a wall. It's a little bit different from Kyle's wall because Kyle's wall will pretty much like pop up out of the ground and do some stuns. Hers just kind of appears and, you know, she sort of pushes stuff but not really, and then her ult where she launches a starship at you. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right here into KR and then go over her skills. This is going to be her skin. I believe this is going to be her vacation skin because she has no other skin in the game. So if we're getting this as soon as she drops, that makes it even better. But just note, from a meta standpoint, she is not that great, but from a waifu standpoint and from a skin standpoint, definitely easy 10 out of 10. I highly recommend this, and it does change her abilities a little bit. All right, you're going to be seeing how her abilities change from the skin. So here's going to be Karin Wong, and she's going to be appearing right here, and look at that, she has like a little bit of a water effect. She uses her plasma gun right here, as you can see. All right, there, she managed to cast the shield right there. You can see it's sort of pushing the enemies in some ways, but not really. It's all right at the end of the day. The only reason why it's lasting so long is because she's level 100 and the enemies are level 1. At the end of it, it's not really much of a killer. All it does is push, and it lasts as long as it is alive. The cool thing about the shield is that it can taunt, but for the most part, it doesn't have that much health, so it's going to be dying fairly quickly. Let's go ahead and cast her ultimate right here, where she's going to be dropping a starship on the opponent. It looks very nice. I think the animations are pretty clean on her, and definitely a well worth it waifu if you want to pull for those reasons. But for meta's sake, she's nothing too crazy. Her shield isn't as great as Karin Wong. You pull for her because she makes you happy, right? And then let's go ahead and cover Jushiyoung. Jushiyoung is gonna be the more meta pick in some ways, but when it comes to her, she's not really the greatest as well, mostly because of the fact that she's going to get outclassed by future strikers. I believe this is going to be her vacation skin. It looks very nice, and I absolutely love her skin right here, and you can't really go wrong with swimsuit waifus or vacation waifus. I guess that is what they're calling it over here. Now when it comes to her abilities and her skills, she's going to be pretty cool overall. All right, so let's go ahead and cover it. This is going to be her basic melee attack, and when she appears, she has reduced range damage received by 30%. She also has a counter stats where she can return one range attack back to the target, but if there is no attack, she increases her evasion for 50% for 8 seconds, and then she can leap above enemies and perform a combo range attack, which is pretty cool. Honestly though, the increased evasion for 50% for 8 seconds is probably not going to occur, especially in PvP where strikers really shine. And then her ultimate skill, she injects her sword with some power, and then she casts some debuffs on the enemy, reducing their attack power and also reducing the damage she receives, and she also stuns the target. So when it comes to her, I think her main focus is going to be the fact that she's going to be a somewhat easy to access striker compared to the other strikers. Right there you saw earlier where she jumped up, that's going to be her first skill, and then here's going to be her actual ultimate skill. Very nice close-up right there, and as you can see, she's a pretty fantastic character. You can't really go wrong with her like in the current meta, but when it comes to like these two characters, they're not absolute like must pulls, mostly because of the fact that they will get outclassed by future rangers and they will get outclassed by future strikers. But if you need a striker right now, Jushiyoung, she's not a bad option. Just note that she's gonna be easily outclassed. The interesting part with the Karin Wong and Jushiyoung banner is that Kang So-young and Lee Yumi actually appeared before them, but we are going off the TW schedule no more, so we're going to be in a different pace when it comes to C. So I wouldn't really rely on any of like the banners being, you know, sort of quote unquote coming at a certain time. We might be jumping between banners. We might be getting Kang So-young and Lee Yumi next, or maybe we might even get Frederica. All I can say is that these two units that we currently have are not going to be that great unless you're absolutely crazy about PvP and you need a striker right now. Jushiyoung is your your girl. Karin Wong, not so much, because there's so many strikers in the meta right now. They get hard countered by pretty much, you know, all these strikers appearing. Defenders don't really have the greatest time dealing with Esteroses or Jushiyoung, mostly because we don't have a counter SSR defender, which would have come in the form of Lee Yumi, but since we don't have one in the counter form, then we're going to be struggling for a bit. Let's go ahead and cover the event that's going to be appearing, which is going to be this dude right here, the Crossroads event. Now, when it comes to this, it's going to be like a special event that we currently don't have. So you can see it has like a little present box right there, kind of cool. And if you actually jump into KR, you can see it, but we won't cover that part since it's going to just be a new section that we'll see in the future. For the most part, you're just going to be farming these stages and acquiring like these little red crystals as you're going through them. I believe it's going to be requiring Eternium. As you can see from the image right there, it's going to be costing 440. Now, the cool parts is there should be a normal and hard mode, as you can see. So hopefully the difficulty is good for everyone. Like maybe the bosses will be like around level 80, because the current bosses or enemies that we have right now are like level 77 with task 3 and all that stuff. And as you can see, the red crystals, they're going to be also part of like these different events, sort of like how we have the missions to the left of the screen right now. And then when it comes to this, there's going to be other bits where there's an event shop. Now the cool part is this reminds me a lot of Epic 7, where you can see you get a little frame. Now the frame isn't as cool, but you can essentially exchange everything. If I were to rate it, we're not going to rate it until we actually see it, because we're just previewing it from like the KR sites and everything. I would say like the gear is probably pretty good, just because it's T5, and right now T6 maze gear is the best. Options are randomized and everything, maybe not go for the gear, but gear is going to give you the most power. And then probably start getting like the summons if you want to do more summons, and then probably focus on the quartz, because quartz are nice. And eventually you're going to work your way down to like the core coupons and the ship coupons and everything. But I feel like the gear should be #1 for everyone, just because we don't have like the greatest gear currently in the game. Don't take me too seriously, because we haven't seen like what the actual shop is going to be looking like. I think overall this event is going to be nice, just to inject something new into the game, and I sort of respect them adding this, because this is going to be a first official event compared to like the Kang So-young and the Lee Yumi. This one didn't really have an event, and not to mention Kang So-young is going to be a farmable character. These two characters are not going to be farmable, so in some ways we can see that there are going to be some changes. Now I know it says here that dive expands to floors 40, but if you actually go into the patch notes from today, there actually is no signs of any upgrades to like the dives and stuff, so we won't be seeing that. At best, we'll just be seeing the event, the new banner and vacation skins. They're changing up how equipment can be put on, because right now there's like a weird thing where the equipment isn't properly like registering within the game. Like you have to unequip it in order to put stuff on, and then you have to re-equip it. The cool thing about this maintenance is we're also going to be getting some compensation within the mail. I think they said it was going to be like 300 quartz, as you can see here, so that's pretty cool, and I'm excited for these units to come. Honestly though, if you're free to play, you really shouldn't pull, and the only folks who should be pulling are people who are like really crazy about PvP and want like the newest shiniest units so they can jump in the meta. Speaking of PvP, let's go ahead and try to do a bit of it myself. Hopefully we don't get crushed too much, but good luck to everyone who's pulling. If you're wondering, am I going to be pulling on this banner? Personally, no, I don't think this banner is worth to pull on, because I think that Lee Yumi, I think that's like the defender's name, she's going to be a better unit for me in particular, because I run counter units and I desperately need a defender in the current metas that we are facing. All right, they're going to be using Glebnir. Let's see what's going to be happening here. They haven't deployed any units. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to be deploying our units. Are they AFK? Did we find another? Okay, they're not AFK. I thought they were AFK for a second there. I was going to be sad. I mean, oh my gosh, they're level 100. And I mean, we're level 100 too, but like that's a pretty big deal when it comes down to a few things. All right, so let's go ahead and land some AoEs right here and stun them a bit. Put Liz right there. Alright, we're doing well so far. This Shinjia is pretty tanky. She's been alive for like quite a bit of time. And then, okay, that little laser probably took out our Zhao Lin. No, she's absolutely fine still. That's pretty good to see. Go ahead and put Lin Xian right here. Now, I think they're hurting a little bit because they placed their units a slightly bit too slowly. But I feel like if they placed them a little bit faster, they would have had the jump on us. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 22,500 subs, we're doing a giveaway, doing current giveaway for 20,000 subs. Thank you so much for that. Check the links in the description for that info. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.